Hi, my name is Breanna Greenup, and this is a GGTV3 special news report. Today, I'm joined by Heather Hyland with the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District. Thank you so much for joining us today, Heather.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So to start, can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the vector control?
I am the Public Information Officer for the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District. It is my duty to serve the public when it comes to public health, and I am here to outreach and conduct interviews, presentations, sending out press releases, and really hone in on announcing any type of mosquito control issues.
As you know, Orange County is experiencing an increase in the mosquito population. Can you touch on why this is happening?
So we are experiencing a high abundance of mosquitoes in our traps, and that's due to many different factors. We had late season non-flushing weak rains. So when you have weak rains, you're going to see pockets adding up and kind of holding water in places where they usually don't. When you have a heavy rain, it kind of flushes everything out. We also had an early season high temperature. Last year in 2019, in early May, it was about 70 on average. Now it's been about 77. Higher temperatures, more mosquitoes. Due to COVID restrictions, we did have a delay in our seasonal staff. We saw that more people were staying home due to the pandemic. So we saw people were buying more plants, watering more plants. So you have more water, more plants, more mosquitoes breeding in your backyard. You know, COVID did have some income restrictions as well for people. So some people couldn't properly maintain their pools. We have about 3,000 unmaintained or out of service pools in Orange County alone. If you have a pool that's not chlorinated, you're going to have a breeding problem.
And because of that, cases of the West Nile virus has jumped in the month of July. Why is this happening?
So when you have a high abundance of mosquitoes, the risk for West Nile does tend to go up because you just have more mosquitoes. But West Nile virus has to do with bird activity. So birds are the reservoir of West Nile virus. So we are looking at where the birds are, which groups have West Nile virus. You're going to see wild birds like crows, ravens, and sparrows being the main reservoirs for West Nile virus. So we had Fullerton, Huntington Beach, Seal Beach, Westminster, Anaheim, Cypress, and Garden Grove. Those are usually our hot zones where we find more of a high abundance of mosquitoes. So you're going to see West Nile in those areas sooner. But the birds are going to be our indicators. So we do test any bird that comes in that we find dead for West Nile. So far we found one dead bird that has been tested for West Nile.
What can the community look for around their yard, around their house when it comes to mosquitoes? Is there any examples you could give us, especially in regards to protecting themselves?
Something we do convey to residents in Orange County is mosquito control is a shared responsibility. We urge everyone to do their part. This year's campaign was Tip, Toss, Take Action. So we encourage everyone to use those words when they're thinking about mosquito control. So that means tipping out standing water that you find in your yard, and it could even be a capful of water. Mosquitoes only need a capful of water to breed. So you're talking about 100 larvae can survive in a capful of water, which is pretty amazing. You want to toss out any unused containers that can hold water and take action. Wear repellent. Anything that's EPA registered, which would be key ingredients like DEET, IR 3535, picaridin, and my favorite is oil of lemon eucalyptus. I think it smells good and it really protects me when I'm outside. But those are some of the key words that we use that can help people protect themselves from mosquitoes, from vector-borne illnesses, and from bites. So residents can do a lot when it comes to their yard and breeding sources. So things that we find in the field when we go and do a service request, we find that mosquitoes love to lay eggs in vases with plants, especially bamboo. So they can lay eggs around this area where you're filling up the water. A lot of people will use bamboo and just put rocks in there. This is a huge breeding source. Plant cuttings, different things like that indoors, and they will come indoors. We also have found toys. So you see here, this And inside here, kiddie pools will harbor a lot of larvae, but we have seen a lot of actually breeding sources be toys. Something that we encourage people to do is to get a storage bin and put everything that can usually hold water in that storage bin. Tires. So we say tip out the standing water. You can toss out anything that you're not using. And we see that tires, people just tend to keep them, I think, because they're expensive, or they say, oh, I'm going to make a tire swing or something. But if you look, the water stays in here. Even if you try and tip it out, it's round, so the water gets stuck. And we do see this as a very large breeding source. So if you do want to keep it, make sure it's dry or you store it in your garage.
And what does mosquito larvae look like? Because I personally don't know.
I have some right here, as a matter of fact. All right, so I'm going to show you mosquito larvae. A lot of people either think they're tadpoles or little fish or worms. But if you see there, we call them wigglers. And larvae actually go through 4 stages of molting process. So the mosquito life cycle is egg, larvae, pupa, adult. So it's kind of like the butterfly metamorphosis, but it happens a lot faster. Mosquitoes can go from eggs to adults in 5 to 7 days. And remember, it's only the female that bites. So she does need our blood to produce eggs.
That's kind of scary.
I know. Yeah.
What is the vector control doing to support the community and the public health of the community? And also, is there anything you guys have created to spread awareness and get the community involved?
Yes, we actually, if you go online to ocvector.org, we have created for kids, it's COVID, a lot of kids don't have a lot to do. So we have provided science kits. So you can submit your address and your information online, and we will send you a free science kit, and it comes where you can make your own mosquito. It has a lot of really cool, fun resources in there, including a breeding source hunt that you can do with your kids in your backyard. We are also really increasing our social media posts. We have DIY videos on our website. We have all the information that you need, resources. You can always call us if you have any questions. You can also submit a service request, and we will come out and inspect your yard if you are having a problem with bites, or you feel like you've looked in your yard, but you're still having bites and you can't quite find the source. We can send someone out to address that. We also, with West Nile virus findings, if we do find a positive sample in your area, we will post signs and alerts on Nextdoor. We always contact city managers and public information officers of that city to make them aware of West Nile virus that we found in their city. Our tag is OC Vector. If you look it up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can always go onto our social media platforms to find out more information.
Awesome. And in regard to the West Nile virus, what are the symptoms that people could look out for?
So with West Nile virus, it is a zoonotic virus, which is animal to human. What we see with zoonotic viruses is usually flu-like symptoms. So that's the problem, is people will come in with flu-like symptoms, and if they have West Nile virus, they don't even know they really have it unless they get a blood test. So we have about only 2% of people will have these severe symptoms. So I'll start off with that. But only 2% you'll see have brain inflammation. Brain inflammation can lead to a coma and sometimes death. So those are severe symptoms. You'll see people will just have mild symptoms like the flu, body aches, high temperatures. Sometimes you'll feel nauseous, but I think that's pretty much any flu-like symptoms. If you feel like you got bit and then you are starting to have some of these symptoms, you can always ask your doctor or any medical provider that you go to, can I see if I have West Nile virus? But you do need a blood test for that.
Going back to you guys being in contact with the cities, how has Garden Grove collaborated with the vector control?
We have always had an amazing relationship with the city of Garden Grove. For our campaign this year, we had 10 different things that cities could help us with, and you guys checked all of those boxes off. We were so excited to have this opportunity to collaborate with Garden Grove on so many different wavelengths. One thing in particular is you guys were actually one of the cities that took the most truck magnets. So I really appreciate that. But you guys have been so supportive, and we thank you so much. We look forward to collaborating with Garden Grove on a couple more projects that are coming in 2021. So we are excited about that.
Thank you so much, Heather. Is there anything else that you want to add that I haven't asked you already?
I just really urge residents to do their part and to use those 3 words: tip, toss, take action. Head to ocvector.org. We have a lot of resources available to you, including our DIY videos.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Heather. I know I'm definitely going to go tip, toss, and take action in my own home. And thank you for tuning into GGTV3. For more updates like this, you could visit ggcity.org or go check out and like our Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Breanna Greenup, reporting for GGTV3. Stay safe, Garden Grove.
Tip, toss, take action. Don't give mosquitoes a fighting chance.